Whoo! What's going on? YouTube is Donnie B all day. So, bringing you a budgeteer, a budget Bowie, something that anybody and everybody could afford. It's confusing too. This is a Rough Rider, and it says Combat Bowie. That's what it says. So I'm like, okay, this is the Combat Bowie. Luckily, they have this on there, the RR1718, Romeo 1718. And the reason I'm happy they have that on there is because if you look up Rough Rider Combat Bowie, you won't find this knife. They call it the stacked leather Bowie knife. So why they call it the Combat Bowie, I don't know, unless at Rough Rider they just put the wrong top, but they did put this cool Iwo Jima photo on there. But is what it is. We're just going to call it the RR1718 Bowie because that's what it is. Let's get into it. All right, so, first of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Gobble, gobble to you. We are going to jump right into this. So, it comes with a nylon dangler, which I've never really been a true fan of the dangler. But it's not bad. And at first I was like, wait, there's no lanyard hole, so what do you do with a dangler with no lanyard hole? But then I noticed this rivet right here was actually hollowed out, so it does, so you can tie it down to your leg. So let's pull it out and give it a look. I want to see if it's ambidextrous because I had it in there for a lefty, and it does fit righty, which means it's an ambidextrous sheath, so you can put the strap on your right hand if you're a main right-handed carry, or if you're a left-handed person and you carry a gun and you want it on your offside for your shooting hand, then that works too. And the strap is placed on this side, so, and it doesn't go over, I don't think. So therefore, it's only on the right side going to be to where it's against the spine, so you're not cutting your strap. Let's get into this sheath just a little bit. As far as nylon sheaths go, I think it's kind of good looking. I think it's actually really good looking. But as far as budget sheets go, it's so crappy. The fit is just not good. Can you carry it without strapping it? Absolutely. Just don't do any cartwheels. You will have a bad day. So let's get into this leather stacked handle. Now, first things first, the leather stacked handle is attractive. They used black spacers. It looks really nice. They got the brass pommel on there, the brass handguard on there. I've had this sitting around for quite a while, so it's a little grubby looking, but it's not bad. It's pretty thin. It's a pretty thin blade, about half of what D-bad blades are. Let's go over. It is 15 1/4 overall. I have a cheat sheet. You have a 10-inch mirror polished clip point blade, stacked leather handle, blah blah blah, brass guard, brass pommel. We already got that. Sheath, made in China, and it just says stainless steel. My guess is that it is a 440, which I think Rough Rider uses a lot of. Just a plain 440, not the nothing special kind. I'm feeling the edge, and I can feel that it's sharp, but it's not crazy. Not at least feeling to the hand. Let's see how much hair I took off. None. Okay, so I was right. It just doesn't have that great edge you would hope to find on a knife. I do not know what's inside of here. I don't know how far down it goes, but since this is on here and there is no pin, right? So it doesn't go all the way through, which means this has to screw on, so I already know 100% that there's a rat tail in there. What I don't know is how far the rat tail goes. I'm trying to see if there's a space in here where I can at least get a judgment of how thick this tang might be, even for a little bit, but it looks like it's very narrow, and it probably only comes to here. somewhere in there, and then there's a rat tail holding it on. So with all the Rough Rider stuff, I have not really been a fan of Rough Rider. The way they build knives, they build them very, very cheap and weak. That doesn't mean that the blade itself isn't going to be any good, but like some, I've had to take the broken blade or, you know, the broken handle, or I took one apart and it was just a really, it probably went like an inch to an inch and a half of tang and then a full rat tail, and it was garbage. So I took it all off, I cut it down, and I made a custom knife just out of the tip, right? It kind of looked like that, except this would be handle right here and thin. So then the rest was, and it works really good. It's a good little utility knife. So if I break this one, I'm not going to try and break it, but if I do, that's what'll happen. I'll end up cutting this thing up and turning it into a different knife. But what, I mean, we don't know unless we try, right? We don't know unless we try. Let's give it a couple wound channel checks. Oh, you aren't coming back from that. So one thing I can tell you is that if you were talking about self-defense and you needed to make sure that you are going to walk away from a mugging or somebody just burst through your kitchen door, you happen to have this guy on you, and I can tell you 100% without a doubt in my mind, if it hits sideways without breaking at this kind of power, it's going to hit this way without breaking with that kind of power. And that kind of power is all you need, boom, to make a nice line through somebody's jugular. So I can tell you right away that you aren't going to break it in a battle for your life when it's skin on skin, right, or blade on skin. So a lot of people are going to automatically, because it's made in China, it's a rat tail, it's so cheap, they aren't going to let me stick it in their ribs to prove any points. I can guarantee you that. So I know that if I put my hand on this and I torqued really hard, I'd probably be able to spin this off and then take the whole thing apart, like I did with the last one. I'm not going to do that because I pretty much already know what's in there. I can just guess. Let's go over the likes and dislikes of this handle real quick. Likes, looks pretty. Dislikes, the handle. If I spin my blade while holding on tightly, there's almost no resistance at all. No resistance. Luckily, even gripping it tight and spinning it, it didn't open up anything. So, that was an actual concern. I thought just by doing that, I might open up some spaces. That didn't happen. So, it's got a good tip. It's got a great shape. It's pretty. If you are somebody who collects knives to put on display, or you're building one of those cool Game of Thrones chairs or something, I've never watched Game of Thrones, so I don't know if they have one. But if you're building like one of those chairs made of knives and swords, or a picture frame made of knives, and you want some good looking stuff that you can pick up for under $25 in that area, this could be your knife. This could be your knife. If you are an outdoorsman, a woodsman, a camper, a hiker, you'd be able to go with this. But if you were a serious outdoorsman where you are going to need a knife to trust your life to, and this is the style you like, Case XX, or right over there that I've been using to baton all my wood with is my Cold Steel Wild West Bowie. You are going to go a lot farther with those knives than you will with this one. Even though I haven't tested it, I can guarantee it. But it all comes down to the test, so let's do that. I'm going to try and make this a quick one because it's raining. Uh-oh. We saw a squirrel. Oh, he went 100 miles an hour. Look at that thing. Or at least 20. All right, so we're going to go over here. We're going to whack at some stuff. We're going to see how it works as a knife, because I know how it works as a self-defense tool because it's sharp and pointy. That means it's not something I want inside of my leg. That's for damn sure. All right, so let's lower you guys a little bit. And actually, we'll lower you guys a lot of bit. First thing I want to do is just see the balance. It's a rat tail, so it should dive down. I'm going to go 4 feet in the air. It should go straight every time because all the weight is in the front. We're going to do a couple hard downward throws. We'll check the tip, and we'll see if any of this moves and shifts. Oof. That got some bite in there, boys and girls. Oof. I could actually hear it go by my ear. It's a cool sound. Ooh, it's almost that whistle. You can see the line is right here. So that's, I'm burying it 2 inches on a downward throw. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, let's see if we can cut the nylon rope with this guy. I'm having doubts. Ugh. Push cut, definitely not working. Let's see, saw cut. Well, kind of. All right, so it cut with maximum effort. Maximum effort it cut, but it got there. It just took a little while. Just took a little while. Let's back up a little bit. Hey-oh! All right, so that was at about 4 yards. I have to say, first throw, that was a success. It throws nice. It's got a good feel in the hand. The problem is, and this is a big problem, if I missed my throw and I hit it sideways or anywhere else, I probably would have broke it. So doing a throw before getting to do some work on it was probably a bad idea, because then I wouldn't have been able to do the rest of the testing. But luckily, she lived. All right, Roscoe, what are you doing? The guy, anytime it rains, this dog of mine, he finds water anywhere, even though he's got water all in the house. He's got plenty of water. But it's like, this is different water. This is free water. He's a dog. Everything's free for him. All right, so let's get some chopping. Let's get some chopping. That's what we want to do. I'm going to raise y'all up. And I don't mean like I'm going to compliment you. You guys all look beautiful, though, today, I got to say. All right, so try to get you all balanced there. I want to get on this side, so I'm just going to cut away this piece. Possibly. It's not chopping poorly. It's not just chopping greatly. Okay, so let's take this big guy right here. If it breaks, it'll fly in my face because it's like at face level. So if it breaks, it's going to break backwards because I'm hitting it up top. If I hit it down here, it would break forward and probably curl down and hit me in the leg. Breaking high would just hit me in the face. So you might be in for some good video. See if we can't hold it still. So it's definitely chopping. How much chopping I can do before I create any damage in here, I don't know, but I'm trying to hold my grip up high toward the guard to reduce it. The more I can hold of the little bit of whatever tang is in there, the better chance I have of it not breaking. So the problem is, the closer to the guard, the weaker the hit, right? So it's kind of like a balance. And I can feel it as I swing. The blade wants to shift. It wants to go down. Hey-oh! It wants to go down and away from the hand, which I don't like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm not going to wrap my thumb around the guard, but I'm going to put the knuckle of my thumb on the guard to keep from shifting. Let's see. And the reason you don't want to put your thumb all the way up over the guard is because if you miss hit, you're going to break your thumb. You don't want to do that. It sucks. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. We're getting through it. I guarantee you, if this was the Wild West, the Case XX, the Hunglas, the D-Bad Preacher, it would have already breezed through. It would have already breezed through. I am a man. All right, so we got that done. We got that done. Not so bad, right? Big fat piece of log there. You know, I'd like to say, what did we do to the edge? But the edge already kind of sucked, so we didn't do anything to the edge. We didn't chip it, though. We didn't chip it or roll it or anything like that. Oh, I see the big guy over there pooping. A little guy over here snooping. Okay, so let's do this. we have a log freshly cut. Let's halve it. Halve it. Cut it in half. We will halve it. All right, so this is what we want to do. Get rid of that. Okay. We're going to smash into it now. Let's see if we break it here, which we hope not. All right, so now I'm on where a knot is. I just want to see a good hard shot. And so far, so good. It's all together. It's all together now. All right, here we go. Let's try that again. All right. So far, so good. One more time. Oh, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Well, now I know how thin the tang was. So, let's continue, shall we? Let's get this guy down here. Uh-oh, there goes the guard. All right. Rough Rider. All right. Let's see. I'm going to finish this piece of wood. I don't care what the knife says. I'm going to finish it. Whether it wants to or not, I am tearing this thing up. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I got through the wood. The problem is I also got through the knife. And I was telling you guys in the beginning what I felt about it. That hard work would not be good for this. I like the guard. You can actually see the size of the hole, which would be really nice on a regular knife, but the size of the hole is not the same on each side. In here, you can see where it actually starts. It's very, very narrow. So what I need to do is get in there with a tool and a drill or some files and make this bigger, and I can use this for another knife. The guard is thick. It's nice. It's actually a really good guard. So, and it didn't break. What I have here, however, not so good. I'm gonna have to, let's see. Oh yeah, I bent it here. You can see that. I wonder if we can, I can't believe it survived taking the log down. I really can't after all that. Ow. All right, so I can feel it wanting to turn, but it's bent, so it's giving me a hard time. And I'm trying to figure out, I want to see exactly how this guy is made, but it's trying its best not to show me. There it goes. Okay, so it wasn't a rat tail at all. And that's actually surprising. Here's the butt cap. You could see it's a hole. Now, if I wanted to reuse this, this would be fine. What I would do is I would drill a hole in here, and the next knife I would use it on, I would pin it on. I would not just epoxy it on. No freaking way is that a Donnie be all day, you know, type of thing. No freaking way would I do that. So, okay, so what we have here is going to be another D-Bad custom knife, because here's something crazy. They put a hole in the rear of this tang right there, which means it's an indication that they were possibly thinking about pinning this on there, but This does not have a pin. So I guess the hole was probably a place for the epoxy to go through. Maybe they thought, okay, it would be stronger. And the epoxy wasn't bad. It was strong. It's like glass. But it just wasn't D-bad strong. It just wasn't D-bad strong. So now here's all the spacers and the leather. And I could peel these away and get a good look at this tang under here. And this is what we have. We have that little tiny stick tang. So it's considered a full hidden stick tang is what it is. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at maybe a little over a ½ inch of tang. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. If you're a knife maker and you know there's options, there's better options. This is just not good. It looks like it was powdered steel or something. I don't know, man. But this is what you got. This is what you got. The Rough Rider RR1718, I think it was. Wait, is it on here? Yes, RR1718. I can't believe I remembered that. This is going to turn into a different knife. I'm not gonna let this go. I'm going to have myself a, who knows, maybe I will re-stack it. Maybe that's what I'll do. I can carve it down, reuse this. I will have to take this out, obviously. And then what I can do is do an actual pin. And so it would look like, let's see, how far, I might have to take away some of the stack. Let's see. It would be there, so we're looking at about that much blade coming out of that handle, which is kind of close to a design I just put online. It's on my community. It's for a little Navajo knife. It would actually be very close to that, but that's an option I can do. Turn this into another knife. So do I recommend I'm wondering if you guys know the answer. Do I recommend the Rough Rider RR1718? I pretty much don't recommend almost any Rough Rider. Almost any. Almost. There are some that are built better. This is not one of the some. It's just a cheap blade. It's just a cheap blade. But, you know, every blade has its purpose. This part right here will be fine. This part right here will be good. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to use it as a different knife. I'm going to repurpose it. And I think it's going to be a pretty decent little knife when I'm done with it. The problem is it's not a pretty decent little knife right now. But once I make it into a utility knife, it'll be fine because it's not going to be a big chopper batoner. So that's it, guys. That's your freaking Thanksgiving video. A Rough Rider. Speaking of Rough Rider, I am a Rough Rider. That's a pretty Rough Rider right there. But is what it is. I'm going to hey, I'm gonna get ready for some gobble gobble, eat some turkey and some stuffing and some potatoes and all that jazz. Everybody have a happy, safe, good Thanksgiving. Get your grub on and don't buy that mess. If you're hanging around with some family on Thanksgiving and you guys are looking at the old interweb and you say, wow, look at this knife, this is great. No, it's not. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.